Hello, it's Jane Caldwell. Now in this video I'd like to talk a little bit about depression. So I'm currently writing a small mini book about depression, for this time right now, especially when we're in COVID. I've already written the Healthy Mind, Body, Life book, which is about getting back on track, which I think is a good thing as well at this time. But I do want to get this one out as soon as I can as well, to help as well. So it's about depression. I get it because I've done it in lots of ways myself in my own life, and they are just processes that we run and we can change them. It is important to say that, because I think often and we hear as well that it's we have got depression, and it kind of becomes a medical term, and sometimes we go down that route. And the thing is, once once it becomes part of your identification, then it's a bit more of a tough thing to change. If we move it back to these are just processes that we can change, and then we'll understand that it is fully in our responsibility to move things in a better way for us going forward, even if it's bit by bit, then it can help us to change these things, more, instead of succumbing to something. Because the succumbing thing, the thing is, there is a comfort in sadness as well, and kind of not having to take the responsibility for something as well. You know what I mean? It can let us off the hook. But is that the way we want to live? You know what I mean? If that's what's happening to anyone listening here, it certainly is patterns that I've run in the past, where I've just thought, it's kind of been bombarded, actually, in the environment at that time, and just thinking couldn't take any more. And really, but that was a situational thing. That was because of life right then. And the things with that, it's a temporary thing. If you can, even small bits by bit, move forward, then that becomes a part of the past. And one thing, talking about the past, is, quote from I think it's from Dr. Richard Bandler anyway, that says the best thing about the past is that it's over. Now, often that can be the case for a lot of people, and perhaps with this as well, because another quote I want to mention with that I think as well has come from Dr. Richard Bandler is, sometimes we've got to get over things and get through things to get to things. And that's the point that I want to make as well today. So I've talked a bit about getting through things when we're at that time right now where we've just got to get on with it. Like in COVID, a lot of people could be quite down right now because they can't get out. But there's a perspective thing on that as well, because if it is just about you can't get out, and you can't do those things now, someone like a friend in the pub might say, "Oh, I'll give your head a shake," you know what I mean? There's worse things out there. Now, sometimes we can do that, but if there's more severe things going on, that isn't probably something you can do. But there are other things you can do. The thing about going to the past is, we can be someone who runs. All of us have had sad experiences, of course we have. Some of us attach more meaning to things as well in our lives, and meaning's a good thing. But if you're attaching too much meaning to sad events, we've got to tune into, like, is that going to be good for us or not, and tweak how we think sometimes, and I'm not saying sort of become numb to things, that isn't the way either. I've done that one too. That's not the way to go. But we can choose to perceive things differently, and even change how we've perceived things in the past, so our change going forward is better for us. What I mean is, whatever we've learnt in the past is stored in there, in the hippocampus. Then we've got our hypothalamus there that sort of keeps us regulated, so keeps us the same. Now, if we've had a lot of, as we all do, we've had sad events, if we've escalated those or kind of made the most of that, really emphasised how sad it was and repeated it and dwelled on it, or whatever we've done, what really we've done, and if we've done that, is we've increased kind of in our filing system the file of sadness. So, we'll have files of fear, files of happiness, files of, it's all emotional filing in our brain. And so if we've done that, then we're referring to the sadness, and that can become quite severe as one of our, base kind of references. So, and for instance as well, to make that clear, say we might have lost someone sadly, and instead of remembering all the beautiful times that we've had with them and enjoy, all those fantastic life experiences that some of us, not all of us, but some of us have lucky enough to had and lucky enough to have loved. Some people haven't really had very much experience of having loving people around us, and these things have got to be realized and appreciated. I think so we could in some the times, if we've lost someone, it could be that last period where it was quite severe and very sad, and all of that, and that's sometimes what our minds would remember. Now, if you're someone who's done that, and you've got that remembering of that instead of all the lovely times, you just remember those last sad times. Now, you might want to decide to let that go and just remember more the good times and bring those more into what you remember, and start changing your neurons in your mind chemically to feel better going forward. Now, that's for the past. Now moving again to the present. We've remembering, as I said, we've got these things are temporary. We can change things, however severe they can be, even when we think, oh my god, I can't do it anymore, and all of that. I understand that, I've been there. When sometimes for those things we've got to get determined and know it's temporary, and we can move these things and move forward into the more of the life that we want. Because as well, I'm moving into expectation. We've got to be careful with expectation as well, because we could be in a life where it isn't quite what we want, and we might have had expectations of the way we wanted it to be. Now, if you've got expectations of something here, but what's going on is here, it's this bit, all of that's kind of can make us feel really sad as well. Now, I understand. The thing is with depression for me is I understand that it can be a loss. That's how I've felt it before. I've felt where it's felt like grey clouds, and they've gone, and then more have come, just as different life things, but also mind things if can take a hold. But with sometimes part of us can understand that there's more. I think perhaps I could call it the Avatar effect. Remembering a lot of wasn't it a lot of youngsters watched that film thinking, but how amazing thing was it Avatar, where they thought was so amazing, lovely things or something, and then the reality hits. Do you get what I mean? It's like we can think there could be something else out there. It's like part of us might understand it, that there's something else, there's more to this, and we can have dreams, but the thing is we've got to make those dreams happen. So that's a bit like the expectation. Yes, we can be really, in a world of infinite possibilities, we can be anything we want to be within perhaps reason, but we have got to work to it and get there. We can't just be there and and have that misalignment or whatever, and to me that can be where depression can take hold as well. It's like a loss. It can be a loss of a love that you think you could have but haven't. Do you know what I mean? I can't explain that a bit more right now because I don't want to go into it fully, because it'll become a really long video, but it can be about loss as well. Certain people say that, I think there's a coach, Owen Fitzpatrick, who says it's depression's a liar, which I think is a great thing, because we can do a lot of BS in our minds with sort of not good enough, da da da, blah blah, all the rubbish that can be said. And in that respect, if you do choose to make it feel like a liar, then you can go, I'm not having it. It's like someone bullying, and if you had someone bullying you in your face, you've got to stand up to it. You've got to be strong, and that's sometimes what we've got to do in our minds as well. Now, getting back to the getting over things, getting through things, but getting to things. Now, if we can just go ahead and yes, realize that, understand the dreams that we have, but come back to practicalities, come back to where we are right now, and just start making those moves day by day. Because if you're here, if you continued one way, but if you just started to move bit by bit in a different direction, before you know it, you're on a much better path than where you were before. And that takes effort, that takes time and action, and it's time sometimes for you just to go for it, no matter what you feel, no matter how you're feeling. Get going and getting to it and getting to do it. Because do you want to be stuck forever? Do you want to just be feeling whatever and sad and whatever, or do you want to just force yourself out of that and then realize in time to come, looking back, how happy you are to have achieved what really you wanted to do, and you just had to work at it, and well done you for doing that. So that's all I want to say for now on depression. There's loads more I could say, because as I say, we all do patterns in our own unique wonderful ways. But one more thing, just if we are feeling upset, patterns and thoughts that aren't as productive, my suggestion to you is to put yourself around the more uplifting, kind of more happy kind of people around you. And I mean genuinely more uplifting, not the ones who pretend, because all those deep processes do affect us. We've got mirror neurons. Now, if you can connect more with happy and all of that, and that's going to be a good thing to help you move out, as long as you're we don't want to be bringing anyone down, we want to be lifting people up and do it that way, kind of thing. So that's all I want to say for now on depression. I am going to bring out a book, a small book to help that. As I say, I've got the Healthy Mind, Body, Life book on Kindle right now, and it's going on paperback, and it's only something like $4.69 or something, and that one's about getting back on track as well. So which helps, because part of it is about the body eating the right thing. Most of your happiness hormone is created in your gut. So it's about take responsibility, and hopefully having support around you. If you don't have that, I'm here for you. And other coaches, get the help where you can, get the support where you can, until you're strong enough to get back where you want to be. And that's all I want to say for today. So best wishes, and I wish you well, and I'll see you next week.